Hey guys, it's Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy, and this is your market recap for the week ending September the 28th. This week started off with Packers having offer lists that were nearly identical to last week. The only real significant change was the fact that there appeared to be a lot more mid-range and jumbo steer hides on offers. And according to the various people we talked to, it seemed like those asking prices are down a couple of bucks. What I think's happened here, we've gotten a lot cooler here in the United States the last 10 days to 2 weeks. And also, I think we've got a few live animals stacking up. And so cattle weights are starting to turn a little heavier. You got hide weights thus that are getting heavier. This is also supported by the fact that we're starting to see a lot more yield grade 4s and 5s when we're harvesting the cattle. And for those who don't understand what a yield grade 4 or 5 is, these are overweight cattle. So that's why I think you're seeing a little bit of pressure in that mid-range to jumbo, or some people would call it super jumbos and jumbo market. But so that would be that. As far as the week went, it was a little bit of disconnected activity. And the reason I say that is you had Korea out on vacation celebrating holidays. Taiwan was celebrating holidays. You had the Milan Fair the middle of the week. You had the United States Hide, Skin, and Leather Association meetings in the middle of the week. So the market really had a difficult time getting any real momentum and sustainability. So we saw a lot of choppy activity going on. From visiting with various people, there, of course, there are a lot of buyers out there looking to, bid the market down, trying to bid $2, $3, maybe even $4 below asking prices. They weren't able to get any business done at those levels. They didn't want to improve their ideas. Meanwhile, there are some buyers came in bidding $1 or $2 down, and it looks as if maybe there's a little bit of trading that got done. It's steady, maybe slightly lower levels, but for the most part, Packers did their best to hold the market steady. I think definitely there was more business passed this week than there was business booked. As far as cows, no change on offer list. It seems like there's really not much new news there. Still a lot of unsold product out there, especially in the form of heavy branded cows and to a lesser degree native cows. Hearing that, even dairy cows aren't, the shine's off those a little bit, and even had a little bit lower trading on those this week. So as far as the harvest came in this week, guys, at 650,000 head. That compares to 657 last year. Those numbers are going to stay up there. Look for this to continue all the way probably through until the 1st of November, at least 635 to 650. Packers are making a bunch of money. Beef demand's better than they could have ever anticipated. You also have African swine fever that's dominating China and is moving into Europe. So people are going to be scared to eat pork overseas. They're going to be turning their attention to beef. Packers with more than enough cattle are going to keep making money. And two things I learned being a meat packer back in the day is when they can make money, they're going to run the wheels off the doggone bus. And number two, there's one wrapper on every animal. So after that, it's subject to interpretation. As far as the export report this past week, it came in pretty much close to expectations. Sales for wet salted hides were 340,000 hides. That's obviously disappointing. Sales of wet blue at 83,000. So, collective average about 420. Remember that kill was 657 last week. So another week we see that the Packers were not clearing their production as well as the processors. So just lending support to the argument that there's more hides for sale than people are willing to admit. Excuse me, taking a quick peek around the world. As mentioned, the Milan Fair took place last week. A lot of people said day one was a little slow, day two busier. Overall, there are some people in the States who said that they had a decent show as far as sales. That seems more predicated towards producers of wet blue hides. A lot of talk about European suppliers having plenty of hides to sell, having trouble accepting the levels people want to pay them, even though they do need to move some product. Meanwhile, reports from Australia, their kill's starting to slow down a little bit. Their sellers are trying to hold that market steady. The underlying softer tone of the global market certainly making that a challenge for them. As we go to Brazil, continued reports of a lot of wet blue being for sale in Brazil. TR1 60 to 65, probably more product trading closer to 60. Of course, the tariff talk in China is encouraging Chinese tanners to look at product outside of the U.S. because they don't want to deal with the tariffs. But you talk to various experts, a lot would argue that 5% tariff is priced into the price already. So overall this week, I'm going to tell you that Producers had a hard time clearing their inventory. I look for offer lists to be a little bit more populated next week. That's not good news, being the fact that China will be out all next week celebrating their national holidays. So, far as I'm looking at the market, I'm going to remain of the same opinion. If I was a producer, I would want to continue selling into this market. I think that the upside potential of the market is minimal, while the downside is a larger exposure to it. That's all for this week. Check out my website, www.themaxfieldreport.com. I offer free 14-day trials on it. Come check us out. Until next week.